Welcome back. Good evening. This is BlvckIce. I'm your host, Calvin Papa Ford, and I have some special guests with me tonight. Tonight, I have my parents with me. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves to you. First, we're gonna start with my mother.
Hi, I'm Stephanie, Calvin's mom, and kind of nervous.
Okay, good. Who else we got?
Hey, I'm Calvin Ford. I'm his father. They call me Big Ford.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Don't behave.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. So now, reason I got them on now because it's been funny the past few weeks. They separately been asking, when you gonna bring me on the podcast. So I was just like, man, this be a good opportunity. Then going into Father's Day and Juneteenth weekend, we can kind of touch on like how I grew up, and some of y'all can probably see where I get my viewpoints or how I think. No. Yeah, I know.
But it's gonna come out.
Yeah, it's gonna come out. We'll see. You'll see. You'll see. I just don't. I'm just. I'm just me. But anyway, we're gonna start off with the introduction. So, Mama, where are you from?
I was born in Houston, Texas, and we moved to Dallas when I was in the 8th grade. And then we've been in Dallas ever since.
Okay, well, how was life in Houston?
Fast. We moved around a lot. So, and then I was young too. So, it was elementary years and stuff like that. So didn't really know a lot, but later on reflecting back, it was like, ooh, wow, that was a lot. That kind of a thing.
Okay, you had any siblings?
Oh, yes, I have. We're 6 of us total. The 2 older sisters, an older brother, that's deceased now, Keith, and a younger sister and a younger brother. I'm the middle. And then I have siblings on my dad's side. So is that kind of a story? I think that's what he was getting at anyway. But anyway, so I have 3 sisters on my dad's side, 2 of which are deceased. And then I have my one sister, Felicia, that's living. Oh, and I do have a brother.
And shout out to Felicia. Happy birthday. Your birthday was yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
So happy birthday on Felicia. I said it on Facebook, but
Yeah.
I know you be watching the show and love you. Thank you for your support.
Yeah.
To everybody on the unit. I'm going to come out there and sign some autographs one day.
Happy birthday, sister-in-law. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I need to, if I'm not on Facebook, I'll be forgetting.
She in Jasper right now, kicking it.
What?
Calvin stay in touch. He stays in touch.
I hope her and Harold connected.
Yeah. So Harold is
the brother I learned about last year. It was
that was
you always heard about it, but we actually connected the dots. And so he's a younger brother by my father.
If y'all go back in the archives, we talked about that on the episode. How I found out I had an uncle.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Whatever.
Yeah, Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Yeah. But, I mean, if it wasn't for him rolling, I wouldn't be
but
here.
baby, there you go.
Leave my father-in-law alone.
Facts. That's what it is.
If it wasn't for my father-in-law, you wouldn't be my baby.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Yeah. Well, so,
all right.
That's that. And
so moving from Houston to Dallas, was there like a culture shock?
Kind of, because we moved here and, my mom was kind of going through some stuff. So it wasn't like the best of situations. And I ended up going to Holmes, Oliver Wendell Holmes. Were you UT?
Yeah,
do you know UT?
Yeah, they know.
Oh, okay,
Students been called up here.
So, oh, Lord Jesus. But I remember we lived in Village Oaks, and that was
an experience.
Interesting.
In the hood.
Yeah, that was interesting. So I went to Holmes my 8th grade year, and then we ended up moving to more Oak Cliff, and that's when I went to Carter and stuff. So yeah, Holmes was different.
Yeah,
it was different. I got into my first fight at Holmes.
Did you win?
Yes.
All right.
And you know what? And I don't know
on?
if this guy even remembers me or whatever, but I think he had a little crush on me. His name was Romel. But this one guy, and
you remember Romel's last name?
I think it's Artist.
Because I think Coach Jones might know him.
He was big and tall and kind of one of those buff. He played football, but he just looked out for me, and stuff. And then, but it was this one guy, and I even forgot his name, but he was kind of dark, skinny, like want to be a bully, but you ain't because you're picking on girls kind of thing. And I forgot his name. But he waited until right when the bell was about to ring and we were coming out of class. And then he was going to pick a fight with me. But the worst thing to do is pick a fight with a scary person, really, because all I know, shoes was out. I was going to town. And I remember Romeo picking me up, putting me over, and he just went to town on the guy. And I was like, yeah. That's what
You talking that noise?
I'm talking about. Well, that was my first and only fight. I've never had a fight outside of that.
Wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute.
We ain't going. We ain't even giving that breath in life.
Hold up.
That was that.
I'm gonna wait for Uncle Bull to come and tell that story.
No, your daddy can tell it. Who wasn't there?
You don't know. But anyway. Moving on. Oh, y'all got jokes.
I'm just saying.
Hey, you walked into that one.
I did. That's my
Okay,
fault.
so you get to Carter. It's your freshman year.
Yeah.
We'll get to you, Pops, but Pops was at Carter, but you was a freshman. Pops, you was a what, senior?
A senior, yeah.
A senior. Did y'all know each other then?
No, I met Cal. Well, I remember running into Calvin, and I told you this before though. But he had his Carter jacket, and it had Big Frat on the back of it. And I was a freshman, and he bumped into me in the hallway, and he said, "Oh, excuse me, little mama." I was like, "Oh, look at Big Frat." I was like, "Hey."
Yeah, she trying to holler at her
No.
dog.
And then that was it. But then I remember.
Hold on, y'all. Let me get a disclaimer. This is in the 80s. This is where the age gap in dating was acceptable.
Oh yeah.
That was probably in 80. That was in 84.
It was in
I'm saying,
84.
but I'm just saying,
That was in 84.
nowadays people are like, oh, your daddy was grown and dating a 15-year-old.
No.
But I had it like that though, right?
See, that's the problem.
I don't know.
That's
I
the
wasn't
problem.
studying then.
Oh,
I didn't know you.
Okay, you
I
right.
didn't know
he didn't know you didn't.
Until
Stay with the high school story.
I am.
So you bumped into you was excited about seeing Big Frat.
Yeah, and then I remember seeing him later on. I think something happened at Carter, and I was in the RTC, right? And I think we were outside doing drills or something in the parking lot, and then somebody had a car accident, and you ended up taking somebody home. All I can remember was that your Grand Prix.
1972.
Yeah.
455,
Yeah,
4-barrel Grand
and just
Prix.
driving down the road, and I just like, oh, that's that guy, Big Frat, because you had your jacket on, and I was like, oh, okay, I remember him. So those were moments I remember him, but he didn't know that I
didn't know you. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so how did you get?
He told me, I didn't know you.
I mean, but I did.
But you was a freshman.
You was a freshman, yeah.
I mean, come on now. Like,
But you know this Big Frat.
You know what
though,
this
didn't
video was.
you know this Big Frat.
But there were several seniors that
Well, you remember-
did notice.
but
Well,
you-
let's start that in.
But where they at now?
Where you in? Yeah, that's
Where they at now?
Say it again.
Whatever.
I'm just saying.
Okay, but anyway.
Who last name you got?
Big fool.
Yeah.
So okay, freshman year goes by. Like, so who introduced y'all?
Oh, Curtis. Curtis Scott was, so that's how I met Curtis through RTC and stuff. And then he would come over and we ended up going, it was the summer going into my
So Pops
sophomore year.
already graduated.
He graduated, yeah.
Okay.
And we went to Bachman Lake. So Curtis came over and got me, and Andrea Paul. She was one of our
That
good
was the
friends.
one that did the
Somebody
who
else.
worked
There
at
was 3 of
Washington.
y'all.
Andrea and his cousin. Who was his cousin? What was his cousin's name? Curtis's cousin. I can't remember her name. Light skin. I can't remember her name. But it was 3 of us. Me, Andrea, and
I
his
know
cousin.
it's Andrea that helped us with the bank account. That Washington Mutual.
Yeah, I
Miss
think so.
Andrea?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
Yeah. And so we were going to Bachman Lake, but we went back to Curtis' house because Calvin, they had made plans to meet up at Curtis' house. And I remember back in the day, those matching outfits with the shorts that had the little, I don't want to say biking shorts, not biking shorts, but like
They
the
was like
little
little
running,
they were like
those
little
track
track
shorts.
suits.
Yes. And those shorts, I had some little blue ones on that had like a red stripe up and a little tank top with it.
The Carter one.
No,
no,
it was just
Carter
it
colors.
just happened to be probably their colors, but it was just a little short set and stuff. And I remember my shoe was untied and I bent over, bam.
Man, let me tell you.
And
Hold up,
then he was
hold up.
like, "Who is that? Who is
Now,
that?"
hold up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fast.
funny. No.
It's fast.
Me and my boy, we said, man, we gonna go to Bachman Lake that day, right? So I went over to his house.
Was that like big time back then? Bachman
Yeah,
Lake?
Bachman Lake was the place that's when it was jumping back then.
They had.
In the 80s.
Where is that located?
It's
up on Northwest Highway and 35.
Okay, so that's
It's actually
past downtown.
Oh yeah, past downtown. Once you pass downtown, then you're gonna get to Northwest Highway and up at 35. That's where Bachman Lake was.
Oh, okay.
So
is that near where Bronco Bowl was?
No. Bronco Bowl is in Oak Cliff.
Okay.
Yeah. But here and there. So we had already planned to go to Bachman Lake. So we had said, man, come over to the house. So I came over to the house, right? So I went up to the door and I said, Miss Scott, Curtis here? She's like, no, he went to the store. He'll be right back. So I'm in front of the house just waiting. And so I see him drive up. And I was like, oh, man, he got some honeys in the ride. So I looked in the rearview mirror. It was 3 of them. And I said, ooh. So,
Really?
So they get out. So this one over here, when she walked past me, she gonna act like she was picking something up.
No, I was talking about
you had your time.
Okay.
She acted like she was picking something up, and she bent over. And I was like, ooh, I saw them hams. I said, ooh.
What are hams? No, I'm just kidding.
You know what hams is. Quit acting like you don't know. Yeah. And I saw them hams. I said, ooh. I said, say, Curtis. I said, man, who's those girl right there? He said, oh, man, that's my homegirl. And I wrote TC and this and that. I say, man, you need to hook a brother up, hooking the brother up. So we talked them into going to Bachman Lake. So we rode out to Bachman Lake and got out there. And that's when they had the DJ. Everybody was out there. And, you know, it was a great time back in the 80s. So we was out there having a great time. And the men Slim was talking and stuff. And then, so I talked into riding back home with me, right? So I had a 72 Grand Prix, and it was old school. So we get to the car. I already talked up on it. So we get to my car, and I'm like, I get in the car. When it would start, I was like, man. So I opened up the hood, and it just wouldn't start. So both Curtis and I drove, and all of them piled up in his car, and
we left Calvin on the curb at Exxon waiting on his dad.
Yeah, I called my old man to come
talk to me. It looked so sad sitting on the curb. We was like,
I was like, golly, man.
He had plans.
Yeah.
I don't know what plan.
I told you I had already set it up.
To drive me home.
Well, yeah, you come to the house. I mean, yeah, that was the first stage.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, coming to Dallas, I'm sure like hearing the different lingos and stuff was kind of different for you. What was some lingo that you heard that was like, what do you mean about that?
Oh, T. Jones.
T. Jones? What's T. Jones mean?
Yep, that's your mama. You referencing your mama.
I know.
Who turned y'all on to that?
You said T. Jones. He would, and when he first said it, talking about T. Jones gonna let you, and I was like, how you know my mama's name? Because my mama's name is Jones, and I'm like, you know my mama's name. And I thought he was referencing, you know.
I was saying, you know, back then that was it. I was like, you know, we called each other's mamas T. Jones.
Yeah.
So I said, your T. Jones gonna let you roll with, because the next week.
Well, yeah, we tried.
We was gonna try to go back out there to Bachman, you know, together, just me and her.
Right.
You know, T. Jones said no.
Because I ended up getting home late from that.
Back to back weekend.
Boy, she was swole.
Oh, I was mad.
Because at that time she was feeling big full.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's why you
was
mad.
interesting.
That's why you mad at your mama.
I was mad at her though.
He said, brought it back up. That's why you were mad at your mom. So you cussed my granny out?
I did. You know you get in that room.
You ain't got no man.
Yo, my nerve. She gonna want me. She gonna need something from me.
Yeah.
Helpful.
I ain't gonna get no more cigarettes.
I ain't going to get her no more cigarettes. She make me sick. Kick rocks. No, helpful.
Boy, I like the house.
Oh,
So,
I remember that.
What was like your first memory or encounter with grandma, with Miss Jones?
Oh, well, when I went over to the house, just cool and collect. I mean, she just sit back and just chill. And, you know, of course, she smoked cigarettes or whatever. And I noticed that. And she smoked Power Mile Red, no filter. I remember that, Power Mile Red, no filter. Because, you know, every now and then she'd be like, hey, why don't you want to the store and give me some Power Mile Red? I'd be like, yes, ma'am.
And they ain't giving you no money, so figure that out.
Yes, ma'am.
Make it enough.
Yes, ma'am. So I rode to the store, get her some Power Mile Reds.
Right.
And I bring them back, and then, you know, we good. We good. You know?
I remember Mama used to always make Calvin, when you worked on the docks, you would bring her the cigarettes, Coke, and chitlins from,
from South Dallas Cafe.
South Dallas Cafe.
Ooh, but when she found out that I worked downtown, Sap Dollars, and a Sap Dollars Cafe was down there, she like, She said,
You bring your ass over
on the
here.
way home, I need some Power Mile Reds, no filter. She made it clear. And I need some chillings. And what was
And
that?
a Coke.
And a Coke. I said, yes, ma'am.
That's how you know you can come over.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I was good either way it go, but she made sure that when I came over, I had them 3 items.
Yeah.
But no, she was. I'm telling you, she was a wonderful woman, laid back. She really didn't give me no issues, whatever, outside of my presence when I was there. I don't know what she said to Stephanie while I wasn't there, but she was a great woman. She welcomed me. I never got no frowns or no crazy looks or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I always respected her, and I respected any mother or any elder at that particular time, or any time. And so I just made sure I was a gentleman, and made sure that I was professional in what I did, and just respectful. Bottom line.
Mama said, he's smoking them funny cigarettes. I said, what? Because I didn't, I didn't even know what she was talking about. I said, what funny cigarettes? You know what I'm talking about. Then that's when I learned it was weed, them funny cigarettes. And I said, dang it, she knew. But Calvin used,
Calvin used to what?
He smoked the funny cigarettes. And,
he retired now.
Yeah, and then he would spray his car and then come in with gum, because Edie used to always hit you up for your gum.
Ooh, I used to get tired of Edie. Edie busted me one time. Not busted me, but, I made sure, I was tight and right before I came in the house. Right. So I'd always, make sure everything's good, in the car and everything. And Edie gonna run her till because I always had gum, and Edie knew I always had gum. That's Stephanie's younger sister, Edie. And so she would run out to the car. You got some gum? I said, I got some gum out of the car. And then she gonna run out to the car and, get the gum. And they gonna run back in the house by T. Jones in the house and everything, talking about, ooh, it smell like weed in there. I'm like, shut up. Quiet. So I was like, girl, hush.
Yeah.
But, T. Jones knew what was up.
Yeah, I mean, the 80s was definitely different.
Totally different.
You came in, you was the last group that was able to buy liquor at 18, right?
I was. At the time in the Dallas area, we had to go what we call across the bridge, because we lived in Oak Cliff. We lived in Oak Cliff, and we had to go across the bridge, of course, before 9 o'clock. That's even to today. But to get our liquor, now it's wet on this side, but oh man, I just remember me and my best friend Bull Donald Ballard. Man, it'd be 8:45. We in Oak Cliff. But we speeding to get across that bridge.
Come on, about Cedar Crest, that bridge going to South.
Boy, we speed.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the Trinity.
No, the Trinity.
The Trinity. 35.
Because they make cicadas, and it was that liquor store right there.
We knew that.
That liquor store right there.
That liquor store.
Okay, that man. Okay, you
across from where it used to be the
it's
wrestling
right there in the intersection, right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see, back when I was growing up, it had old folks gonna know this. Old school gonna know the Sportatorium, which was the wrestling match, was to the right. Then right next to it, where I worked and where I got my government job and my daddy worked, it was called Alfred's Refrigerator Warehouse. And right across from that was the liquor store. So if you going across the bridge and you gonna try to make it, that's the first liquor store stop that you gonna make it at.
And only one light.
Only one light. And we then we was real tight. We ran that one. So we go there, we get in there right before time. All it took was, hey man, the passenger get out and run in there.
Yeah.
And then we just sat out in the car and said, man, get boom, 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 boom. He get it and then we come on out.
Okay.
He come on out, whatever.
Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we done kind of dived into Mama's life, so we're gonna go over to you, Pop. So where you was born at?
I was born in sunny South Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. Went to Joseph J. Rose Elementary School.
What hospital were you born in?
I was born in St. Paul.
Is that still in existence?
It's called Southwestern now.
Okay.
But back then, you had Parkland and you had St. Paul.
Okay.
So I was born in St. Paul.
So you were born in that's what, South Dallas?
I was South Dallas. They're right next to each other.
Oh, okay.
Well, They still are, but they're right next to each other, right there on Harry Hines.
Yeah, I'm saying they kind of down the street from really Parkland.
We right down the street from.
No. They're both right next to each other.
Okay.
You had St. Paul and you had Parkland. They were right next to each other.
Okay.
But they've changed the name. Of course, you still got Parkland.
Yeah, you still got Parkland.
But they changed St. Paul to Southwestern.
Okay, so Southwestern is the name.
Yeah, that's what it's called now. Yeah.
Okay.
Right on Harry Hines.
So born in South Dallas, and how long were you in South Dallas?
I was in South Dallas up until the 4th grade. When we left South Dallas, we moved to Oak Cliff when I was in the 4th grade.
Okay, you said you went to J.J. Rose, and then what elementary school did you go to?
We went to Bertie Alexander. I went to Bertie Alexander, D.A. Hussey Middle School, and the number one high school in the country, David Carter High School, Cowboys. You better recognize.
Hey, I'm sorry that you went to Hussey. They only got one window.
That's okay.
You know,
but we were smart.
Everybody it's the exit though.
Yeah, everybody was smart. It was a science lab, but everybody was smart. Everybody couldn't be an archer.
Hey man, forget y'all. Hussey Hawks, you better recognize.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so went to Hussey, then
they didn't even know if it was raining outside.
Yeah. They thought it was a storm drill every day.
Hey man, forget y'all.
In the bunker.
They in the bunker, the big portable.
At least we passed our tax test.
Oh Lord!
Let me start you there.
It was tax back then.
When you graduated, y'all still didn't have pass no play. Y'all could play.
Yeah, we did.
No.
Oh, I did.
No, we did.
I ended up.
He
I
did.
No,
it
we
came
did.
in 85.
I was in that. I came out in 84. So
no,
yeah,
the
right.
rule came out in 85.
Yeah, y'all better recognize.
So they let dummies play.
Hey man, Sawyer Road.
I'm just saying.
No, Sawyer Road.
They was eligible.
There wasn't none of us dummies.
I'm just saying.
No,
they
just passed the law, but we all passed.
They were letting anybody play.
No,
anybody.
No, we've been playing.
But so when you got the Carter, like, did Carter have the reputation that it has now?
Absolutely not. When I got the Carter in 1980, I was a freshman, and it was extremely well, respected. I mean, we had.
Oh, you said absolutely not.
Absolutely, you said does it have the reputation of what they have right now?
Oh, okay. So you think the reputation of Carter is lower than it was now?
No,
because when you say absolutely not, I'm thinking like, it wasn't jumping, or it wasn't. Carter didn't have that name.
Well, you didn't say that. That's what I'm saying. I'm responding about what you asked me. But Carter always been the number one high school in Dallas.
Okay.
In my personal opinion. So no, if you went to Carter, you like, oh man, you went to Carter? Yeah, boom, 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 boom. People come to Carter, to visit or to sneak out of their school and come to Carter. So Carter has always been, a popular, high school in Dallas. So
you either went to Carter or Kimball.
Carter, Kimball, in our area.
Okay.
Right. So that's why Carter and Kimball is the Oak Cliff Super Bowl. Right now, So, but Carter, no. The reputation for us, Carter was strong back then as well, even before my time. Right. Like I said, I was a freshman in 1980 at Carter.
Did you? I know you have. You're the oldest out of your siblings, but you had cousins that went to Carter too, as well.
I did.
Was you at Carter with them at the same time?
I wasn't. My cousins that I went to Carter was like way older than me.
So Cheryl was been gone.
Yeah, Cheryl was like 75 or 76. Kathy was 70 something.
Okay.
Fontaine was 70 something. Terry was 70 something. I think Tim was 80. Donnie was like 81.
Okay, all them went to Carter.
So my cousins that went to Carter were older than I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't have any cousins around your age that went to Carter with you?
Not at all.
So they went to different high schools in school?
Oh, yeah, they went to different high schools. All my cousins that was around my age, one went to Kimball. Okay. Sherry went to Kimball.
Oh, okay.
And Deanna, she went to Skyline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sharon went to, cousin Sharon went to
she went to Kimball
too?
She went to Kimball. All their siblings went to Kimball.
Oh, Clyde and all them too.
Clyde and Casey, all of them, and Sharon, they all went to Kimball.
Shout out to cousin Casey, man. I remember being in your room when Gwen used to watch me. I used to be like, man, can I go to Casey room, play the game? And he had all these No Limit posters and Cash Money posters. I was just I used to just love being in the Casey room.
Oh yeah.
He would be there like working sometimes, but he'll be leaving in the morning and he'd be like, man, you can play the game, you good.
Yeah.
So I just remember that. But shout out to Casey. He'd be watching the podcast and stuff too.
Absolutely. That's my cuz, my little cuz.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Case.
But so you get to Carter. What sports did you play?
I played football. That was it. I played strictly football.
Why you didn't play any other sports?
After football season, I was so tired and wore out. I didn't want to play basketball, even though, we played basketball, recreational or whatever. I just didn't want to play basketball. I was just tired after football.
I'm sure coaches wanted you to get out there.
Back then, the coaches wanted you to play, do everything.
Okay.
Even track. Everything. They want you to do everything. But, I just after football season, I was just so tired. I just you know what? I'm just doing strictly football. And that was it.
Okay.
So that's why I didn't do anything else outside of football.
Well, besides football, what was one of your other passions or skills that you had in school?
I used to love art. My favorite teacher was Dr. David Mendez.
Okay.
He one of my Facebook friends now. I don't know if he look at your podcast or not, but
we'll tag him and we'll make this a clip.
David Mendez, and art was my favorite subject in high school. It really was, and I actually used to draw. I used to, do a lot of, drawing and stuff. I don't know if I still got some of my stuff, but I even had a drawing at one particular point that I did, and I'm just saying this myself, but it was tight. And then Mr. Mendez knew it was too. And he actually entered it in some type of an art show. Mm-hmm. And I think I got like third place or something like that. And to this day, I don't know where that thing is. Whoever the art show to put it on, it was DISD or whatever. Right. They still got it to this day. It was really nice. He was a baseball player that I drew. And I had him kind of like running. And he was like in slow motion, had different layers of him running, and he got third place in the art show, and I was just shocked when he came back and told me that. But
so he just like snuck it in for you?
Well, no, he had us doing the project in class,
but you didn't know he was going to put it.
No, he said he was going to put it in there.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't realize that I was going to get no third place
or place at all.
Right. So actually, art and ceramics. That sounds kind of like boy, did all that. That was actually my two favorite subjects.
What are ceramics?
Ceramics is when you building items out of clay.
Okay.
Clay, when you're making like bowls or cups or whatever, So those two particular classes were not hobbies, but in high school were really my kind of passion.
What about like creative writing or anything? Because I always say that you have a gift for writing.
And you know what? That came actually,
Is that just basic how y'all was taught back then?
It was how we was taught. Basic writing, basic just the basic skills, writing, arithmetic, all this and that. And but I learned my writing skills when I hired on with the government. And I had to write reports and send things to the state agency and stuff like that. That's where I polished up all my writing skills. And that's, I give God the glory on it, but that's how I'm able to just write and formulate messages or reports or whatever, well.
Oh wow! I'm thinking you had this in high school.
Creative writing or something, because I hate making a post after your daddy. Because you'd be like, oh shit, what do you say?
No, I got a story. So I was in high school, and this was the first time I ever failed a class. I made a 68 in AP English my junior year. Mm-hmm. So I brought the report card home. Pop was like, "You made a 68 in English?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "It's AP though." I said, "We got to write like 3 essays in like 45 minutes." And what the hell that mean? You can't talk? You don't know how to talk? I'm like, it's way.
It's deeper than that.
And so I remember, I was like, this was like one of the times I did was just talking back with him. Because, I always ask questions about him in high school. I said, you took regular English. I'm in AP English. I'm in the top 10% of my class. That don't mean your ass still can't talk. It's English. What's so hard about that? And I was just like, I want to say, I'm not gifted like you with the writing and shoot. Well, I always tried to copy our penmanship. Well, really more daddy's. Yeah, because,
I know, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. But other than that, I'm like, man, I'm not that gifted with the words, as far as just writing and constructing and putting sentences together.
And, and like I was saying, I developed that skill, when I first, hired on with the government and writing reports, because the reports that you have to submit to your state agencies or the person that you're reviewing, it has to be, for the sake of conversation, not politically correct, but it can't come back on you. Mm-hmm. And you have to be extremely factual. Mm-hmm. Extremely factual, and then you learn from being trained, and you learn from examples of how other people wrote and this and that, and then you develop your own skill in writing, and you develop your own knack in, okay, this is what I observed, and this is what I have to write down, how I observed it, and then ensure that once whoever the next reader is, they understand exactly what I'm saying and how I wanted to say it.
Nowadays, they probably think you Chat GPT.
Ooh,
The way
that's my friend.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Well, I think our generations, with the old schools learning how to write and everything, we see AI tools as a advantage.
Right.
Versus the generation now, they see it as
Just something.
it's just normal. It's just like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be.
Because we had to really think about what we was writing before we wrote it.
And the lazy
context.
thinkers
And the
now.
context,
That's what it is.
And then afterwards, what we had to do is we personally proofread what we wrote. And so, because you knew before you hit that submit button or before you mail, see back then, we had snail mail. Before I, send my reports in, before I mailed it in, I had to make sure that, okay, before I mail this thing in, I got to make sure it's tight and right. Because anything that you write or sign or you fill out and you submit it to someone and you're not physically there, that particular paper is representing you with your name on it. So you have to ensure that it's going to represent you the way you want it to be represented. And that's how, I write. And even when we doing just basic Facebook posts, I don't know. That just
he write thesis statements, y'all.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah, he do. He be like,
I just go back
all
and
right,
say
thank
ditto.
you. Yeah.
Repost.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah. I feel the same way.
Yeah. Dude.
Because I think about it. I come from the heart, son?
Yeah. Yeah, you got a different heart.
Look, well, you're a youngster. You don't understand.
No, it's cool. So, okay. Y'all meet in the summer of 84. Then, Pops, you going off to college. What college did you go to?
I went to the number one university in the country, Prairie View A&M University.
Okay, so you got the PV. How was your experience when you got the PV?
It was great. It was great. I mean, like I said, I got there in 1984. And, of course, when you go to college, you're going to meet any and everybody from different places and this and that. So I met some friends that I hadn't met. As a matter of fact, a lot of people that graduated high school, went to high school with me, they were already at Prairie View. So, of course, you're hooking up with them. And then you meet people that you never met before. And then, I mean, it's just like you build those relationships. And then I pledged my first semester at Prairie View. So it was kind of like right off the bat. They'd be like, how you pledge your first semester? I pledged the non-Greek fraternity at Prairie View. And 30 days after getting to campus, we online pledging.
What was the name of that organization?
The Wisconsin Sleepers Incorporated.
Okay.
And so we was online 30 days after we got on the yard pledging.
You ain't took your first test.
I ain't took my first test yet. I'm pledging. And of course, I'm not knowing what the hell going on. Well, actually, all of us, well, not all of us, but at least 4 of us, we was our first semester freshmen that we was pledging. It was 13 of us all together. And so we just met those people that we was pledging with. And
this organization was co-ed, right?
Co-ed organization,
So
with male and female.
You had women on your line.
Yeah, we had male and female. And that's what made us so unique.
Right. How was that like? Most people see the pledging process or everything is the same gender, but you're going through that fire with the same gender is a little different. But going through the fire with mixed genders, tolerance level, you might meet something like for me in the Army, I met some tough females that some dudes cracked and they didn't. So I kind of, my viewpoint of like, it don't matter what gender you are, it just matter what's your pressure point.
And I agree 150% because that's how it was with the Wisconsin Sleepers. We had male and female. And, of course, I'm Greek now. I'm on Omega, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, number one fraternity in the D9. But here and there, pledging Wisconsin Sleepers with females, it brought an enlightenment to my eyes that these females just as tough as guys. And we had guys that was on our line that dropped. And you'd be like, well, they don't go through the same thing y'all go through. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They actually, they get that wood. They get.
Oh, that's Asian.
Well, that was in the 80s. It's over now. They can't do nothing to us now. We got wood. They got wood. Yeah. We had to take wood for them. I mean, everything we went through. And see, and a lot of these young, people that pledge, whether it's D9 or whatever, they don't understand back in the 80s, especially at Prairie View.
So, like, okay, yeah, we talking about the wood and all that, but I think even another psychological thing I couldn't just even get over. y'all wasn't underground. Y'all was getting pledged in front of the whole campus. So it wasn't like a reveal like how probate is now. Like, oh, dang, you was online? It's like, no. You seeing him getting humiliated right before.
On campus.
Yeah, right before your 10 o'clock class.
Right there in front of everybody.
Well, alumni?
Dress alike.
Was it
In front of,
alumni?
well, the alumni hall. That's
Okay.
what, actually, it was our cafeteria.
Yeah, right.
But that was actually the central meeting place at Prairie View. And what I loved about that, not while I was online, because, we got, like you said, we got, humiliated, whatever. But what I love about the alumni hall at Prairie View is that when everybody was going through the pledging process at that particular time, we had what we call the water fountain right in front of the alumni. And that's where everybody met at, especially during, pledging time. Everybody, respected every organization. Everybody was in front of the water fountain, with your pledges, and, you pledging them and this and that. And it's like you say, you getting really hazed in front of every single body. So everybody know who online and this and that, whether, you on legal or not.
So, like, if you, like, as a student, you thinking of joining this organization, you already know what you're getting yourself into. It's
It's
no secret.
You already know because, like I said, all the non-Greeks and all the Greek organizations that Prairie View at that time, you going through in front of everybody.
Right.
So if you do have an inclination of that, hey, you know what, I want to pledge this organization, you already know the potential because, again, and another thing that was very visual with just students that hadn't pledged yet is in our eating cafeteria, which was the alumni upstairs. At that particular time, everyone sat in the cafeteria, and each organization had their own tables. And back then, they had either orange tray or a turquoise tray. And every organization had out of those two colors. And let's just say, for instance, the sleepers, turquoise is closest to green. So if you sat at our table, you had to have a turquoise tray. And if you didn't, then we kept a stack of trays, turquoise trays at the end of the table. And if you had an orange tray when you came up, you had to put that up under your table.
Under your tray.
Up under your tray.
Green need to be touching that tape. Well, turquoise need to be touching that tape.
Right. And then I think the Cowboys at that time had orange. That was the closest to, a red. So if you sit at the Cowboy table, you had to have that orange tray. And then, so that was just a respect that our organizations had back then. And then the AFIQs and the Cowboys got into a fight one time. Ooh, they tore the alumni up. They tore it up. And then the university said, you know what? Because there were just so many issues going on with that.
With trays.
With the trays.
Color trays.
The color trays.
It sound like prison.
The color trays.
Golly, over some trays.
So what they did
you
was...
Negroes to learn something, y'all are fighting about some trays.
Come on now. I'm talking about, because, boy, they throw down. And so the university decided that, you know what, forget that. We're going to go with one color. And that's when we got all them gold trays.
Oh, okay.
Everybody had one color, gold trays with the university symbol on it.
You got one, don't you?
Yeah.
I got a couple of them at the house, my mama's house anyway.
Yeah.
Unless she done throw them away.
Yeah.
I remember Papa used to always eat on those.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, oh, wow, okay. So, when you was talking about how females, women was going through it and being tough as well, it's this lady that always people bring up to me when I got on campus. I remember my freshman year, I met her for the first time. Her name was Miss Sweet Life.
Her name is Diane Williams.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
She pledged me, and that was one of the toughest women that I ever met in my entire life. Of course, I was, 18 years old, freshman pledging. And boy, when I said, boy, that woman was hell. Oh my God, you was scared. I'm a dude, and when we went to set every night, we was scared to see her.
I even saw my freshman year at homecoming how all of y'all just kind of like tighten up when she got around. Because
she was well respected.
Dang.
And it's sweet as pie.
Sweet is all I know. But he'll be online.
Oh yeah.
Be online. Ask your mama.
Part. Oh yeah.
She pledged.
Yeah.
The Wisconsin sleeper.
So did you pledged mama, right?
I pledged your mama.
So how was that dynamics? Like you couldn't show no favoritism, right?
I couldn't show no. See, at the time, I was the president of the organization at the time.
So they thinking she probably getting it easy.
Well, this is what it is. Because back then, when you got a co-ed organization, then you got like, just if a guy trying to pledge and his girlfriend is already a sleeper, then the brother's gonna get you.
Yeah.
And then if you a guy and you got a girlfriend trying to pledge, then the sister's gonna get you. So when your mama, decided to pledge, so they was like, They didn't tell me that, but they was like, "Ooh, we gonna get her." So when she got online, she ended up being lead dog and line president. And then when we had set, this heifer went through it. When I say somebody played, she played. That was her line name. What?
Agonize.
Agonize. They agonized the hell out of her, boy.
What was your line name?
My line name was Easy Does It.
Okay.
It wasn't nothing that you could do. It was like, all right, shit, I'm Easy Does It.
And that was before Easy came out with all that.
Oh yeah, That was in '84 when I got my line name. Easy Does It. But
Okay, so Agonize. So what was some of you got any like line story, like pledging stories?
Oh yeah, I mean, a lot probably. But what was one of them that was probably really interesting?
Was you talking about Carol? You said,
yeah, okay. Carol. She used to always just be in like touching my temple and like thank you, drop, da 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 da, you know, just in my face while I'm having to recite stuff and everything. But in her voice, it was her voice over anything that was like, if she don't,
you hear this, Carol? She telling it on you now.
I think I met her before, huh?
Yeah, Carol, you know Carol, my sleep sister, she caters and this and that.
Yeah,
okay. My homegirl, she came out of Carter with us.
Yeah, that voice is what really just is like, oh, you getting on my nerve. And then
Sheffield. My line brother.
Oh.
My line.
That's when you call me fat?
Oh, yeah.
My line brother.
Talking about when my LB got with you was fine and shit. Your fat ass is da da da. And he used to make me have to, and mind you, when I even pledged, I guess I was.
The 80s standard.
Yeah.
It's different.
And he was like, yo, your fat ass and you ugly and all this and that. And and that's when The Color Purple came out. And then I used to have to stand up and be like, ooh, I sure is ugly.
Boy, nah, I'll tell you, when Sheffield used to make her do that, I'm over here on the floor rolling.
Man.
And then she online and she gonna cut her eyes over here talking about. I'm like, shit, that shit was funny.
Man, Crisco in my hair, and I'm up here talking about, ooh, I sure is ugly.
Boy, I was on the floor rolling.
Oh, he made me mad. Oh, and I still mess with Sheffield today. I'm like, you.
I remember one time he was like, I'm so sorry, Stephanie. I don't remember that.
Oh, that Negro remember that.
Yeah, but I'm sure
get off my LB.
I'm sure
he probably was though too.
You know.
Yeah, he probably did. Yeah, but yeah.
She used to be on her.
That's cool.
I was on her too.
Well, yeah, but then this is what's funny though. So he lived in Pine Island. So he was in the cul-de-sac,
my
right?
First college party.
And so Little Bull
stayed at the front.
would go and pick me up and stuff. And I used to have to run from Little Bull house all the way to the back.
You can't even see Big Ford.
To come and spend the night. And I used to have to climb through the window of his bedroom because AC was his roommate. And, he was sleeping. And then ain't no telling how many other folks was over there. And then he'd be like, I'm so sorry. How you feel?
I wasn't saying all that shit.
Yes, he was.
I was saying, tighten your ass up and
no,
get in
that
position.
Negro was. Lie, but whatever. But yeah, talking about, you still gonna come up? I was like,
you still brought your ass over, too.
I was booking it down there.
Getting your ass climbing through that window, but Big Ford.
Whatever. It was funny.
So how did you feel? Like, how was Hell Week? Do you remember that?
Well, I don't even think we caught it.
Yeah, you got Hell Week.
Oh, well, it was hell every day. So
actually, you ain't lying.
So it wasn't like it didn't feel like a Hell Week. It was just like,
because you know why? I'm going to tell you. Hell Week was the whole time you was online. Because see, back then, we pledged every night. Every night when you was online. Entire weekend, you didn't go to sleep. There was no sleeping when you was online.
Yeah,
from Friday to Sunday.
Never go to sleep.
And this was every week. So I pledged 6.5 weeks. And every damn night we had set 7 days a week. Hell. So, but then again, like I said, that last week, Hell Week, whatever called, it was worse because what happened was
everybody coming in town.
Every chapter came. Every chapter came down, and then especially you're going overnight. So, but I don't care. I'm gonna say this: if you pledged anything, Greek or non-Greek at Prairie View Random University,
you went through.
You pledged and you went through it. I don't care what organization you're part of. I don't give non-Greek or Greek. You pledged at Prairie View Random University. You pledged. You pledged. And a lot of people don't understand about non-Greeks. You know, like I said, I'm
What were
Greek.
some of those organizations like?
You had the Romeos, you had the Persian Rifles, you had the Counter Guerrillas, you had
Kappa Sweethearts was like
Kappa Sweethearts, you had the Alpha Angels, you had the AFIQs, you had the Kappa Sweethearts, the KKIs, you had
That's what Sharia is, the KKI.
Yeah, when she told me that, I was like, you a Kappa Sweetheart?
Yeah, you had I said the Romeos, right?
Yeah.
Had the Romeos.
You said something about guerrillas? Was that
it was Counter Guerrillas. That was the military fraternity.
Okay.
Then the Persian Rifles was a military organization as well. My DP was a Counter Guerrilla. A fool.
That just sound like that.
They was a fool.
That sound like you don't even want.
Oh, when I say we pledged
like them probably
in their dorm room, the Counter Guerrillas dorm room, before we went to set every night.
So that was like y'all pregame.
Oh, our pregame, we got pledged. And my DP let them niggas, they wouldn't even sleep, let them niggas pledge us before we went to set. We was like, oh, Lord.
Yeah. It was interesting.
So how was that feeling like once you finally go over, like what was that feeling like?
Oh, I'm going to get you back. I'm going to test somebody else. That was for me. I was happy.
That was hers because she went through. I ain't gonna lie, she went through.
I was happy it was over with.
They told her, when I say they told your mama up,
because basically I think most of them was trying to get you to quit, probably, huh?
Yeah.
They were because they were trying to get her because she was with Big Four.
Oh, what happened? Yeah.
She was Big Four, so they like, we gonna get her at boom, boom, boom. But she held it down. She was a soldier, and like I said, you know, we went through as well. Like I say, and. But after you went over, it was just a great feeling. And that's even with Greek. Any organization, when you go over, it's like, it's over with now.
Yeah.
And then, but what's so funny is when you first go over, you always like, well, damn, is it okay for me to do the sign? Is it okay? Because you be scared and nervous. And then, you know, once you realize that, you know what, it's over with, then it's a great feeling. And then just the love and the camaraderie and just, you know, learning the organization, how the organization operates and this and that, and meeting other members from other chapters. It just makes it just a whole wonderful, you know, situation. It really
But we
did.
were really big back then. Sleeping was a big deal.
Yeah, we was huge on that Prairie View campus in the 80s.
I remember, who was it that we almost got into a fight with that time when Glenda, you know Glenda, right? Glenda pledged after me and stuff. But Glenda is a nice-sized woman, a nice-sized young lady at that time. But Glenda, you better not act like you finna get in front and lead that line. Because Glenda led the scroll line every time. She was like, come on, line. Boy,
that what she was doing?
And who was that? Somebody bumped into her. She bumped into somebody.
We was in an old gym or something.
Oh, man. It was about to be a fight then.
Yeah, because the thing about it is, when you at the party, whatever organization throwing the party, it doesn't matter who's throwing it, but when your organization is stepping or strolling, whatever y'all want to call it, nobody breaks that line. Everybody listen to my voice. They already know. You better not break that line if you're a GDI or whoever you are. And if you break that line or get in front of it or whatever, business finna pick up. And
But
you ain't gonna like
Glenda
that.
Glenda was going through like,
yeah, Glenda. Glenda wasn't no punk.
Yeah,
let me tell you how I make. Let me tell you how I made Glenda. Well, she gonna tell you too, but I'm telling you how I made Glenda.
Could that be a good reconnection story if I'm thinking about Glenda, about your daddy?
Oh no, that is a story too. But it was funny because I was in we were in Full. I think that's when.
No, y'all was in Banks.
Banks, yeah.
Y'all was in Banks.
Was that Banks?
You lived in Banks.
Yes, it was Banks. And Banks.
So it's my where you was.
It was me and my roommates at the time was Nikki, and Sharon. And
punks, Calvin. Little punk, female punks.
It was funny. And Glenda walked by. And she, was kind of, heavy, and you just tomboy like just don't play. And I don't know what we said, or we called her. I don't know what we said.
Something being sneaky and scary.
Yeah, probably or something like, I don't know, I don't know.
Whatever it was, the wrong damn thing.
It wasn't. And so, because, we yelled it out the window. We in the window. And then she looked up and we jumped, we hide this stuff. And next thing we know, bam, bam, bam on the door. We was like,
scary ass.
Like Ebony on Players Club in the bathroom.
we was like, and she said, what y'all saying? We was like, what?
Boy, they nutted up like a big dog.
Man. Oh, that was funny. And then, but me and Glenda ended up being really, really close because she ended up pledging, and then
Even now.
yeah, and then like you was trying to, the connection was Glenda was from Houston, and just in our conversations, because then at that time we had specials. So when Glenda was online, she was one of my specials. So when you have a special, that means I look out for you, but you do for me.
Okay.
You take care of your person, right? And so, but we got to know each other and all that good stuff. So even after she crossed, I would go home with her sometime on the weekend. And just in our conversation, she knew my daddy. Well, she knew the girlfriend, the daughters of the girlfriend that was living with my daddy. And I hadn't even talked to my dad. Ooh,
Because you moved to Dallas in 8th grade.
8th grade, and we were off and on. I would go to visit him in the summer times, but I think my junior and senior year, it just fell off for whatever reason and stuff. And but then she was like, I think I know your daddy. I don't know who you talking about. So the next time I went home with her, she took me to his house.
The house that we
yeah. And it was like a weekend, and I went home with her and knocked on the door. He like, Stephanie? Because he never did say Stephanie right. Stephanie? I was like, yeah. And he playing house with somebody else. But then that's how I reconnected with my dad. I found him through Glenda.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Miss Glenda.
I know, Glenda.
I know. Boy, I'm going to tell you how I met Glenda. Summertime.
Okay.
You know, I lived in Pine Island.
This before she pledged.
Yes, before she pledged.
Okay.
I'm in Pine Island. Me and my boy, Kevin KP Powell, Hats by KP. I'm giving you a shout out, brother.
There you go.
But here nor there, me and KP, you know, during the summertime, you know, you trying to find something to do.
Yeah.
So we found out about this party that was going on in Hempstead. Some of those spots, you know, like when you go into Hempstead down 290 and you cross the tracks before you get in Hempstead.
Yeah, that little light.
Yeah, that little light. To the left, it was a house kind of hidden back over there. So somebody had a party over there. So me and KP, we rolled through there. You know, we feeling nice. You know, we doing our thing. We in there. So we in there chilling and this and that. And we was like, here's somebody hollering, "Don't touch me no more." And we was like, who's that?
Right.
And then we heard it again. We was like, "Don't touch me no more." And I look up, and me and KP looked up, and this girl was just wearing this joker out. I'm talking about putting them beads on him. And we like, boom. So we look up, and after Glenda got through, you know, beating the dude up, then he calling himself trying to, you know, get somebody else, like some other cats with him. And me and KP jumped in. We said, "No, boy, y'all ain't finna jump on her."
Right.
So we had to calm Glenda down, and then I end up taking her to my apartment. Me and KP stayed right next to each other in Pine Island. So we ended up taking Glenda to our apartment to calm her down, and then we eventually, you know, took her back to campus. And that's how we made Glenda.
Oh.
Beating up on.
She
And so
told
she
that,
probably like, I'm a player sleeper.
man, she told that joke out the chain. I mean, man, she tore him up. So that's how I made Glenda. And then, you know, when we had the next line, and she, you know, she remembered me, and she remembered that, you know, I was part of Wisconsin Sleepers, and that's when she pledged sleep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
Wow, that was
She's
a
a
trip.
true sister.
She a true sister.
Loyal and true to the
very
organization.
love her to
for real.
death.
Yeah.
If I say I want my sleep sister that's gonna hold me down, her and Juliet Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Oh,
Juliet's
Juliet.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Shout out to Miss Juliet. She was in the financial aid part, I think, when I was there. Yeah, okay. So after college, you guys get engaged and then get married. So what was like the early years of marriage life like? Well, it really was kind of quick.
It was your ass.
You know you were New Year's Eve, baby.
Yeah, somebody was excited, huh?
Well, actually, you know, you were planned. You know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
We planned you.
We actually did.
You wasn't by no mistakes, son.
I mean, I don't trip. I'm the one that made y'all parents. It's that second one.
Well, we planned you.
Well, and
we planned her too.
Oh, okay.
So both y'all was playing, so get off your sister.
I know, right?
I still
Well, anyway.
I still made y'all parents.
Okay. Well, you did. You the first one.
First
Like
one.
that. But here no there, we planned you, and it was a blessing, and we was extremely excited, and of course your grandparents, you know, were excited as well, and it was just an exciting time. It really was an exciting time.
Yeah.
It
Well, I
really
mean, because
was.
we had dated actually, 8 years before we had even gotten married?
Yeah, we did 80 years. As a matter of fact, yeah, we started dating in
84.
84 and got married in 92,
Okay.
and you were born in 93.
Three.
You wasn't there?
Yeah, it ain't 3.
I know. Wait a minute, didn't I call you one day and I said, Calvin, when you was born 92,
I said you was there. What?
I was trying to figure out, but look,
Yeah.
I had to go back and back.
Yeah, it ain't
You
3.
lied on the mother birth certificate.
Oh yeah, Courtney.
I do the bugs. Oh yeah.
I don't know what year. It's 97 or 98.
97.
She was born 97.
97 for do the bug.
Yeah, but you gotta do what you gotta do because I was tired of paying them daycare fees. She in pre-K 3.
Yeah. And still graduated top of her class.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, she
okay.
But
Do
girls
those
are
codes.
ready. It's the boys
I
that
wasn't
are.
ready.
I don't agree with that.
Oh,
Some are, some ain't.
You don't think I was? You don't think I was ready?
You was
academically?
ready. She just tripping.
but sometimes it's best for boys to mature at that extra
I don't
year
agree with
than some
that.
girls. To me,
Yes, girls
In my-
mature. Sometimes girls
in
mature
my-
faster than boys, but that's not the
in my
case all the time.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think that boys could use that extra year versus a girl.
I don't.
I do.
All right.
My
so,
boy could have went.
Well, I didn't say Calvin. I said in my experience.
We talking about our kids.
Okay, yeah. Who do you think? Like, do you think we had problems? Or I want to say who was smarter? Well, I conceded to Courtney. Once
But
she
you
got
know
that
what? Both of
scholarship.
y'all were excellent elementary students. When y'all got to middle school, and I remember someone telling me, "You're gonna love your kids, but she said you're gonna love your kids, but you're not gonna like your kids while they're in middle school." And I understood that because it was like. You thought that you were going to be the next G. Garvey and Bernie Mac all rolled into one when you got to Atwell. But you were my smart kid in elementary. You know, you were loved by the teachers, you know, responsible. But I remember having to take off from work and go sit in your class. You were cutting up that bad.
Yes, Miss Awfully.
Yeah. And it doesn't make it,
Hold on, but I had a good justified reason because you took my phone. Hold on.
Ain't no justified reason.
No, this is what happened. She took my phone. If you went to Adwell, you know this story. She took my phone, and because Miss Softly was the reason. Well, Miss Softly and Miss Moore probably, but Miss Softly had me sitting right at her desk, like this her desk.
And
I'm
that
sitting right
don't
here.
make sense. Okay, but anyway.
So Miss Softly had asked you, "Can you watch the class while she go make copies?" I don't think you remember this. So she left to go make copies. And so remember, half my class we went to Thornton, so we in there telling you like what really be going on, and they was like, "Miss, you know she be in there drinking." She be like, "No," you was like, "No, she don't," and I was like, "Mama, go look, it's a bottle right behind there." She went right behind there and saw that bottle. You went
Did
right.
you see the bottle?
Yeah, she saw the bottle. It was a bottle. It was a half bottle.
You can tell it now, hell.
Yeah, that lady retired.
But still,
yes or no?
that's
Did you see the
honest
bottle?
on this-
Yeah, it was a
Well,
bottle. Hold
I
on, it was a bottle, and you went in your
Slim,
purse.
did you see the
gave
bottle?
me my cell phone. You walked out and went back to work.
Well, I remember parent
I still ain't
teacher
heard her
conference.
say she saw the bottle.
I'm not gonna say. We went to parent teacher conference, and I just remember her leaning over and she rubbed my face. She had, babe. I was like,
Drunk,
it was interesting.
and she's eating
Oh,
nuts.
she ain't gonna say this.
No,
shit.
she ain't gonna say it. And she used to have everybody knows she used to have like a little cordless phone. That's I'm gonna call your mama, but like that's a landline, man. You ain't gonna make no call out of that.
Y'all figured it out.
Like, you can't make no call from her. You just trying to scare us.
Yeah, y'all just.
But
don't
I
know.
get it.
But
And-
then you snapped out of it when you got, and I think that you and Courtney both snapped
Got to
out
high
of it.
school.
Yeah, middle school, I didn't like y'all for real.
well, and I think I'm paying my debt for that. My
Why?
teacher in middle school.
Oh,
Miss Malone told me. I'm
oh yeah,
paying
and that is
for it.
funny to meet her later on in life in my career for her to know you. And I was
Yeah,
like,
'cause
oh yeah.
She's the only teacher, probably out of my own academic career, to get me read a full book.
Oh,
What grade was that?
8th grade.
Mm.
The book was called The Pack.
I remember that. I remember
Because
you
I had to
doing
get
that.
it signed.
I
She used to
remember.
call you every time, make sure
Mhm.
I got it signed. Like,
I remember.
dang. But no, it was a really good book about 3 black male doctors and how they
Mhm.
grew up and all that stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't like reading like that.
Mhm.
Reading was just too boring for me. Like I understood and comprehend the skills
It had
and
to be
strategies.
something of
but-
interest for you.
Yeah, but reading all them little Shakespeare's and I was
yeah.
like, yeah, I don't know this old English like that. I was into the history.
She cut off his ear and
Yeah,
they ain't together no more.
I had a lot of great black, pro-black history teachers,
Mm-hmm.
especially elementary all the way up. So that was
But
good.
you know what? And just being an educator and stuff, I just think that the teachers that were coming up during that time, I think we just cared a lot more. I think we getting a lot of new age teachers.
I concur with that
and
statement.
stuff, and I don't think that they have it's probably not a word, stick-to-itiveness
Mhm.
that we did. We were gonna make sure you got it, and by any means necessary. But I don't think that same thing is here. Because, like, even sometimes when I be like, you ain't working on your Let's Play. No, I ain't working. I was like, you ain't staying late. I mean, I used to have y'all at that school until what, 8, 9 o'clock sometimes.
That's what I'm not working on. I'm not no fool.
But then,
because I remember like people like, dang, for you just leave. I said, no, you don't understand being a teacher's kid from kindergarten through 6th grade. We'll get to the school by 7:30 in the morning. Don't leave until 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, we was doing that constantly, like setting up a room, and I was sick of it.
Getting ready. But then that's why I have so many. But I was a great teacher, though.
Yeah.
And
horn.
But just to, I mean, but it's a great feeling to even know when you have some of your students that you had in kindergarten that are now adults and have their own kids and all that kind of stuff.
And some of them are teachers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I remember one, Chavoyer. I can't pronounce her last name because it's
Cudo. I
I
know you're talking about. She around my
But
age.
I remember running into her. Oh, remember we was at QT after
racetrack. She was
racetrack.
racetrack.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, she saw your name and stuff, and she was like, where Miss Ford? And you was like, over there. I was much heavier then, and well, when I had her,
you still was fine.
Well, I was thick when I had her in my class at Jan Irvin, and Calvin was like, she over there, and she was like, where? And, he was loving it though. He was like, she right there. And she was like, oh, wait, what? It overlooked me. And then she came over to me and all that kind of stuff. And, girl, you look good. And that's when I lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, she was used to the fat Miss Ford. Yeah. When she saw the fine Miss Ford, she like, who the hell is that? Yeah. That's her. And I ain't got no new wife. That's her.
I remember Jasmine Booker was the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I
said, Jasmine, she right there. She was like, that's not Miss Ford.
And then when they hear my voice,
yeah, they
like,
heard your voice. And it just like, they saw a ghost.
Yeah.
Like, no.
A transformation.
Yeah. And then, I remember you cut your hair too at that point. So you lost all the way and you cut your hair. Yeah. We used to have long, I remember me and my pops when she first cut it. We didn't talk to you for about a good 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was upset with you.
It's just hair.
Yeah, you was a tripping.
Yeah. But anyway, but then and then I remember staying in contact with Chavoyer, and then she started teaching, I think at Head Start, and she used me as a reference. And I remember when that lady called me about her, she was like, how do you know? I said, oh, she was in my 1st grade classroom at Jan Irvin. And y'all still keep in touch? I was like, yeah. She was just thrown and just amazed that I was this person's reference and that I knew her and I stayed in touch with her and I could vouch for her as a
and I think back then too, it was just a difference of me being an educator and comparing when I was in school, parents were more involved. Like you don't even hear about PTA no more. Remember PTA used to be wrapped around the school?
Oh,
I mean, you had to bring Williams.
I was over the PTA.
You got to give a 2-piece dinner or whatever.
We served our food.
Yeah,
oh, we did.
But PTA at Thornton especially, it used to be wrapped around the whole school.
Yeah.
Field days.
Oh my goodness.
Field days was like a Olympic event. Shout out to Coach Reggie.
Yes.
He made that like memorable. Like Monster from Monster Ball. If you went to Thornton, you know about Monster Ball. But was he white or Hispanic?
I don't know.
I couldn't remember.
He was a good coach and a good teacher.
I just he was cool. He made it fun.
Definitely,
it was an event.
Yeah, definitely a great coach for us when the basketball, girls and boys. We had some great teams and players, and he really taught us the fundamentals of basketball by watching. He used to have us watching old Larry Bird tapes, Pistol Pete, like doing little different drills, but like he's had that red Jeep and pack us up. And sometimes we go to Maceo and play in the league, or especially at Carter and Saturday mornings. Everybody knew about the Carter League.
Right.
And you had, I think schools back then, like, they messed up when they took away sports out of elementary, too. Remember, you was over the cheerleaders.
Cheerleaders. I had that for a long time.
Yeah, but it was the cheerleaders, and then you had the basketball game. I mean, that was the only sports we had in elementary, but that was like an extension of Little League for us. And sometimes overlapping.
Yeah. Well, I remember parents would be mad when their kids didn't make cheerleading. And I was like,
that was a big deal.
Yeah, it really was, because they were, but we had them together.
You can't really cut people like that no more. And I think that's another thing that we're missing too. Like, it was something as a kid seeing your name on that list, like you made it, like you worked for something.
Right.
Now just a lot of participation. And I get you don't want to hurt kids' feelings, but sometimes you need that villain story.
And even if it wasn't no list, hell, you just didn't get in the game.
Yeah.
That was just it. And then we say overlapping. Yeah, your mom overlap was a cheerleader coach for R.L. Thornton, and she was my cheerleader director for the DeSoto Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
So she had like triple duty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So she put that work in. She put that work in.
Never cheered in high school. Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
It was a major rep.
But you was a major red at Carter.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter, you know. So, but when we chose our cheerleader director for the Panthers, you know, I knew that you was gonna be the one.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, you know, we put you on board.
Yeah.
You know.
And when the kids outgrew it, I went on home, but somebody stayed. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and that's
But it's all good, you know. But you know, to go back to what y'all was saying, it just feels great when even with when I was running the DeSoto Panthers organization.
Just to make the family, everybody.
Well, not just that, but just the fact that you were saying, like, you know, kids now, they grown and you see them, they came to your organization, you coach them, whether it was football players or cheerleaders, and you see that they got their own families and they doing well and they grown now. Yeah, my son, you know, he was 5 years old when we started with the Panthers. Now look at him. Grown man.
Tyrie, remember Tyrie was in your class in elementary,
and then
in kinder. Yeah, and so I had her in first grade at Jan Irvin.
Yeah.
And she was a cheerleader too. But then full circle moment was that, you know, she grew up and still, you know, we still, you know, remained in contact and stuff like that. But for her daughter to be in my daughter's pre-K classroom, it was oh my gosh, isn't that just something?
Wow.
It was like, wow.
Like you got a second generation forward.
Yeah.
Learning.
That's a trip.
It is. It is. It's something else. Yeah.
No, that's
memories. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So what? Dang, I was about to add because that was pretty good. Yeah,
it really was.
Well, Courtney, shout out to Courtney. That's my little sister.
Yeah, and it's funny though, really, because I knew. Well, I was surprised that you two even went into education. Period.
To McCabe and Courtney?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because y'all would always complain about being at school, and I just didn't think that y'all would be educators, and just to think that everybody always like, oh, your kids follow in your footsteps, and I was like, yeah, they did, but I don't think this was their first passion or first desire to do.
Well, like when you went back to the comment and saying I want to be George Garvin, I really
G. Garvin, you remember that?
No, I really did. Y'all crushed my spirits. I remember. In the kitchen.
Yeah. Like, you don't make no money cooking,
man. And so I remember being a kid. I was like, I can't wait to make it in life where I ain't got to worry about money or being in survival mode. And that's where I guess we bump heads sometimes generationally with y'all generation. Y'all,
because you had to have a 9 to 5 and a job.
You didn't have extracurriculars to go and pursue things like how y'all had it set up for us. So. But I want to be a chef so bad. I used to sit there and watch him, and that's when TiVo came out, and you could record then. And I just thought he was so cool, and I just loved.
He was.
And Skyline had a culinary, and he was like, "Nah, you ain't gonna do that. You gonna be an engineer." And I'm like, "What the hell is an engineer? I ain't never heard of that word." I mean, I knew about like the regular professions like doctors. I was in the law academy at Atwell. But then I realized how much school you gotta go down. Like, I ain't doing that. I was good at it. I was good. I was a great prosecutor. I was really good.
You debate really well.
Yeah. Shout out to Miss Law. That was one, but not Miss Law, Miss Softly. But
she was good for something, huh?
Yeah, when she was. Right. Yeah, she was. When we was not clowning.
Yeah, when y'all was acting right in class.
But so hearing that, what profession did you picture me and Courtney doing, or let's just say me?
Well, let me interject. Let me go with Courtney.
Okay.
Ooh, I'm gonna tell you, I really had to keep my composure, cause when she got that $365,000 scholarship to TCU, this is what my mindset was. I was like, okay, man, the world is right at your fingertips. You can be a doctor, a lawyer, a scientist. I'm just.
She could have picked any major?
Any major she wanted.
But
no, let me finish.
Okay.
Any major she wanted. A full ride.
Yeah.
TCU.
Right.
And when she said she wanted to go into education and be a teacher, I damn near hit the floor. And I was like...
Because ain't no money in it.
That's my mind. Now,
You got to think about
listen to me. Listen to me.
I understand.
I'm compassionate, and I had to learn because your mama, she tightened the nigga up. But I was like, you can go to school and get a degree in whatever you want.
Yeah.
A full ride. And you want to be a teacher?
and they pay for a master.
Everything.
I
said, and you want to be a teacher? Yeah. No, but know what I said? I mean,
not that your mama sitting up here being a teacher, though, but yeah, you want to be that.
But you wouldn't. I don't think you would have picked education if you got a full ride.
Listen to me.
But my major was enforcement.
But let me say this. Love to all the teachers. If it weren't for y'all, we wouldn't have no professions that we were going to. So I'm not tripping on that. I'm just speaking of a monetary sense.
Yeah.
That's why
get paid like that.
I was speaking of a monetary sense, not to minimize the profession of a teacher whatsoever. Yeah. Because if it wasn't for teachers' help, I wouldn't have had my job. I wouldn't be retired where I'm at. You wouldn't be where you at. You wouldn't be where you at. And boom, 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 this and that. But I was just like, man, this opportunity to be what you want to be and this and that. I was thinking, like I said, lawyer, doctor, whatever, boom, boom, boom. And at the time, she was a teacher. And she was like, what's wrong with being a teacher? And I was like, shit, damn money, hell, you ain't making shit. So that was my thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but again,
Do you think it was, well, I was about to say you didn't think that way. I was thinking with women, because I had to look back at it, most teachers are women. And then most of our teachers back then, they were married. So they didn't have to have deal with the whole household or financial as teachers do now.
You talking about being single?
Or being just head of the household.
Well, I mean, with me and your mama, that didn't matter because
I handled finances better than Calvin did. So.
I'm not saying
she did. I'm just saying, I was making more money than your mama.
It was two people in there.
There were two households.
But you know what? Just because it's two people doesn't mean that it's always what it appears to be.
Absolutely better than one.
Well,
absolutely,
that's true. But when you have more coming in, you got more going out.
Yeah,
you do. And one thing I can say about your mama, oh my God, when I say she was a master at juggling them finances and them bills and this and that. Superstar.
And it's funny though, because I
was
telling somebody, I said out of my 28 years of teaching, I think my first, I had never had a summer off. I think even maybe 4 or 5 years in is when I started like teaching summer school, and I would teach summer school, so I had extra money to buy y'all clothes for school or this and that and all that kind of stuff. So I never had a summer off. Then when I went central staff, that's $226. So you worked the whole school year, and like and it's funny because I know I stayed on your dad after he retired, but like, can you clean the garage? Can you off every day? And so, but now that I'm retired. Sometimes I get up and I be like, I'm tired. Yeah. I don't want to do anything, And so sometimes I be like, oh yeah, I see what he's feeling like. But I when you work all that time and you work, school year, and you look back on it, teaching is hard. Teaching is hard.
It's extremely hard because you have so many aspects of what you're dealing with, not just in the classroom. You got other things.
But then I think you even forgot. Courtney at first wanted to be a nurse. Really? It was something in the health profession.
No, she did, but she said she didn't like blood.
Yeah. So we went to orientation
she didn't like
at Townview. So has different schools, and we sitting there.
She wanted to be a pediatrician.
Pediatrician. Yeah. And so she was like, the lady was up there giving a speech and all that kind of stuff, and she was like, she looked over at me, she said, so I'm gonna have to take somebody's blood? I gotta see blood? I was like,
yeah, that's help.
You're talking about, I ain't want this. And so then that's when she got into the School of Education at Townview.
Yeah,
that's what sparked it and stuff. But yeah, I was like, crazy, you going into the health profession and you didn't think you were gonna be involved with some blood?
So what did you think Courtney's profession probably would have been? What do you think she was? Like her growing up, like
I think it actually throwed us both off because with the pediatrician thing, then she like went into education. Then it was like,
but I think that's her niche. That's her. I can't. Now I'm gonna say this.
No, you said prior to her making that decision.
But then you know what? I don't know. Courtney was always so You didn't know what
she
Courtney
like?
was saying. It wasn't no passion for just no one thing. You know, she didn't like kids, and you know, it just. So when she did go into education, I was kind of surprised. But like, I was surprised that she had the passion for pre-K, because you dealing with little ones. So I would have thought if she was going to teach, it was probably going to be upper elementary, middle school, maybe even a high school or something like that. But I wouldn't have never put her in pre-K. And that's her jam. She loves it. And I'm steady trying to kind of not push her out of it, but having to explore different things. But honey, she like us in pre-K, which is what? Hey,
Ain't that many
it's her
kids,
calling.
right?
No, yeah. What you mean ain't that many kids?
Well, it's different. I see
But it
that.
didn't have to be a many kids. Pre-K, Calf, think about it.
Yeah, I couldn't
Them
do it.
kids are just
4
learning.
years old.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't
That's
do
like
it.
daycare.
And then you with them kids all day.
It's
Yeah.
like daycare.
Yeah.
But what I remember when I did teach, and I taught kindergarten, and I never was interested in teaching pre-K though. But I used to always think about, they got 2 teachers in that classroom. And it's only, I think at that time, it was like 20 kids. And I said, and they coming to, but no, shout out to Miss Jones, Shamion Jones, when at Thornton,
that name sound very familiar.
yeah, Miss Jones.
Jasmine's mama.
Oh, okay.
Jasmine mama.
When you at Thornton, you wanted all of
Your kids.
Shamion's kids. Oh,
She still there?
Oh, she's actually, is she at Adele Turner now?
Okay.
She's somewhere else. I know the last place I remember her being was Adele Turner, but somehow I think she's gone somewhere else now. But Miss Jones, and she was so soft-spoken and quiet. And, baby, but those kids came out writing on the line and reading, and it was just like, yes.
A good head start.
Oh my gosh. So you always wanted Miss Jones kids. But I remember when I got to Douglas, and I remember getting into it with the pre-K teacher.
Are you trying to fight?
No.
What?
Well,
Getting into it mean fight, but without coming up.
But, you know, in pre-K, you know, they're creative minds and they're exploring and all this and that kind of stuff and choice and all of that, you know, which now being an early childhood educator later, with that department, learning more about pre-K, I see where that mindset came from. But at first, I'm thinking, it's 2 of y'all in this classroom. Why in the hell is Martin Luther King purple? I don't understand. They so just they can color him any color they want to, his choice. But why wouldn't you let him choose maybe a different hue of brown to color Martin Luther King tan? But why would you let this kid color Martin Luther King purple? That's where I was just
no
like,
boundaries.
No, yeah. And I'm saying, yes, I get it, creative minds and choice and all that. But I think that kids' minds are sponges at that time. You can guide them.
You need to mold them.
Yeah. That boy didn't need to know or think that, I can color him purple. But anyway, that was my breaking point for pre-K. I was like, oh, no. And I remember, like, you going to have to take that down. Because it's Black History Month, too. We ain't got no purple Martin Luther King.
Right.
Anyway, I was
His daddy might have been the bruh.
no, but that was one. I remember kind of my thing with that one. But I get it. Some kids. But I think as a teacher, you have to know your kids,
Right.
really. And some of them are at that level where, let me give you a choice. But some of them, they come ready, and you need to be ready to push them. And guide them to do
But probably
it
the different mindset of the old school teachers like you
Yeah.
and the teachers that now that
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's different.
So what do y'all think I was gonna be growing up? Or what do you thought I was gonna turn out to be like?
I thought you, when you went to Prairie View, when you started studying architecture engineering,
I thought that would be.
that's what I thought you was, you was going to pursue.
Oh,
You know?
okay.
That's what I thought you were going to pursue, architecture engineering.
Mm.
So that's what I thought at that particular
Yeah.
point.
All the way up to high school, like even like when I was a kid.
Well, in high school, of course, high school was just your high school courses and this and that.
Well, yeah, I was in the STEM academy.
We was in STEM Academy, but STEM Academy was just basically, you were up epsilon of your class and this and that. But when you got to Prairie View and you chose a major and you chose architecture engineering, then that was our mindset what we thought you was going to be in that field. So that's where we was at that particular point
Yeah, I
until you
learned
changed
they
it.
didn't make money. I was like, hell, when they were going
Now
over,
they do.
well, you had to work your way up there. But like starting off, they were making like 40-something thousand. And I remember being, I said, hell, I might as well be a teacher. And he was like, yeah, I mean. And then that's when I went over to construction science, which was, you kind of like an engineer, but you're making money just like engineers.
Yeah.
And went over to that. But then when I left, so how did y'all feel when I flunked out of PV the first time? Like, I feel like that was like my biggest
You know what? I
think
think that you were finding yourself and stuff, but
You're finding yourself on our damn bread.
But then that was a hard time for, I think, you and your dad. I think I was the buffer between a lot of that because he was like, you gonna do something, and you was like, but I'm gonna go back and da-da-da,
That was like my first mistake.
Oh yeah, and
like
it was
academic wise, I think about my whole academic career, kindergarten through.
And then Prairie View will make you or break you too.
Well, and I don't think I was prepared
for that much freedom.
Well, no, I won't even say the freedom part, just academically.
Yeah.
I don't think I was prepared. I didn't know how to study. They didn't teach us how to study. Being I won't say a smart kid, but a smart kid.
Stuff coming to you easy.
Well, no, like a teacher, she can explain it and I might get that first example right, but she's not going to come back and check and see if I can get the other things right.
You talking about than college?
No, I'm saying in school, period, K through 12. So say if I answer a question right, well, I know Calvin got it. I ain't got to worry about double check. And I'm conscious of that now as an educator. I find a lot of me and some of these students, I'm like, nah, let me double check because he probably... Yeah, you might got that first one right, but you might not know the other 3 or 4.
Yeah, you probably guessed. That was a good guess. Yeah,
and I was probably good at that. I knew one of my gifts was
debating.
No,
conversation,
talking. Gift the gab. Getting by with. I just learned from Daddy just seeing how being personable and can get you in doors that you ain't even got to know. Or whatever.
I was just gonna say, now that is a quality you have from your dad is like your dad never meets a stranger, and he knows it seems like everybody and stuff. But y'all can hold a conversation. To me, I'm gonna have to know you first before I really can, be that comfortable with you and have a conversation.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It is, but I said, Lord, let something break over here because these two, I can't deal with this.
Now my breaking point, like when I first went, because first y'all was trying to get me to go to the Navy, and I just did not want to.
Well, I remember.
No. I wasn't trying.
We just said that.
I didn't give a damn where your ass went. You was gonna go to Uncle Sam,
but y'all sent me to the Navy first.
Well, I mean, no, that's what. Say let's just go like this. Boom, 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 boom. I actually didn't care what branch you went to.
But I think we sent through that because somebody we had knew just went to the Navy or something like that.
I knew Montego went.
That's probably what it was.
Montego had went right after high school. But I was just I just didn't want to wear that Popeye uniform. That just looked silly to me. And so then I knew Mr. John, Mr. Poston. Then I went and started talking with him and all that. And then he was kind of talking to some Navy people trying to help me. And I was just like, I just can't see myself on no boat. And I was like, and if I die, I don't want to die in no water. I'm going to die on land so my people can at least bury me and have my remain. And I was thinking like that. I always thought the worst case scenario. So if I did meet up with it, then I knew how to prepare myself for it. Or if it didn't happen, then it would be a sign of relief for me.
Yeah.
So, but how did y'all feel when I did like sign up for the Army and I picked my job? Like when I told you what my job was, what was your first thought?
You know what? I had never even heard of that or even really thought about that as a job and stuff. So, but I remember you were saying, Mama, is this or is that? And I was like, okay, yeah, you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
It was combat.
Me, infantry.
Infantry, yeah.
Well, you're right. That's what I'm saying.
So
my thing was, as long as it wasn't infantry, whatever it was, if it was cooking spaghetti, it was fine.
Them niggas on the front line too.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, as long as it wasn't
peeling potatoes.
My thing was, as long as it wasn't infantry, then we was good. And then,
but that was, and I guess that's just to even show. I mean, you guys have just really been blessed with things that have happened, just throughout our life and stuff. But for you to even connect with Sergeant Foster, and for
he just randomly called me.
Man,
I was in the dining room.
Yeah.
And I was done with the City Hill recruit because they kept just giving me just bullshit jobs. And I'm like, bro, I can go and work at Chili's and be a cook. You know, I just kept. I'm not going to no military to be no cook. Shout out to all the cooks though, y'all.
But then if that's what they like, but then that's not a bad thing because that's probably what they like. Yeah.
But I was looking at what can I do when I get out.
But I'm gonna say you weren't thinking about the benefits at the particular time.
I was like, what I'm gonna be doing in there, and then what I'm gonna benefit when I get out of there.
Yeah.
And so they kept offering me. I think it was like a fueler. And all that. So then when I heard mortuary affairs, and he was like, man, you got like 5 minutes because these jobs reload. And I was like, mortuary? I said, ain't that with dead folks? And he was like, yeah. I said, what would I be doing? He was like, shit, I guess like picking them up or something. He's like, I ain't never heard the job. Because he had me, I could tell he had me on speakerphone.
And then what I like what you told me that he said also, he said, look at man, he say, the other ones get this and don't get out of it. It's a gravy job.
Yeah.
And if you miss this an opportunity, you're going to hate your dead.
Because he called somebody that they knew somebody that was in the job, and they was like, hey, bro, tell him he need this shit easy. And I was just like, what? So, and we sat there. I was like, all right, I'll do it. And as soon as I said I'll do it, everybody in the recruit station was like, oh, he's sick. Oh, like, they're like, man, he really gonna do it?
Oh, wow.
'Cause, I mean, and then I got that reception everywhere I went in the military. Like, when they found out my job, like, my drill sergeants would call me dead man or stay away from me, you a curse. You know, little stuff. I didn't care about that. I'm just here doing the job. But Sergeant Foster, when I picked my job, went back to his office, he sat there. Everything I got now, as far as like my benefits and everything, we wrote that down on a piece of paper, and we went
prior to. Ain't that a blessing?
And that's what got me to sign, because my life story was just like his. He was at Jackson State, kicking it, then left, went to the military, then he did his 4 years, got out, then was a contractor, then went back in and was active guard. That's how he became a recruiter. So when he was telling me the story there, I was like, damn, this is the same story I'm going through right now. He's like, bro, I wouldn't be, you know, he like, shit, I just randomly called you. I saw you was on their list. I was like, all right. I was like, then he was black, so I just felt comfortable.
He came to the house.
Came pick me up. Yeah, he came and picked me up, and because I told him, he was like, I'm in Waxahachie. I said, I'm not driving no Waxahachie, bro.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I said,
it like that's far. It ain't even far.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, you got to think about it. In Dallas, that was far to us.
To y'all.
I mean, that was shit.
But
I mean,
Waxahachie wasn't developed, so you just feel like it was
15 minutes
far.
was far. Grand Prairie, Arlington, that was far to us.
But Waxahachie is less than 10. But anyway, keep going.
When I moved to Houston and you have to drive places, then when I got home, Addison is a 25-minute drive.
Yeah.
We used to think Addison was, well, you want to pass the Trinity?
Yeah, I ain't going.
Well, it depends on what time you go.
Well, but you weren't even thinking about going to Addison. Hell, the high school I went to, I couldn't hang out there.
No.
Just 40 minutes with the traffic or whatever. But shout out to Sergeant Foster though. They helped me with that, and then
absolutely,
yeah, that was we were just talking about. We just drove by. What was that? The Crown Plaza. So how was that feeling?
It was like, oh man, he's growing up, and we finna have to let go. I remember walking back to the car after dropping you off, and you were standing there. And I still have pictures of that on my phone, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I remember y'all dropped me off, and I have it's 3 homegirls that
I walked up in there with you. Remember?
Yeah, we were all in the room.
Yeah, you gave
with
me
him.
that prayer rock. And then after y'all left, 3 of my homegirls came. It was 2 Ashleys, Ashley May and Ashley worked at Victoria's Secret, the dark skinned chick. And then my homegirl Jelly, they came and saw me, and I still got those pictures, but I always like, they always gonna be at the top of my list because they just came and saw me. Then Jelly was pregnant with our daughter, and she had her daughter the day I graduated.
Oh, wow.
Which is April 8th, and that's Kyoga's birthday too. So my graduation date and Faith. So Faith going to middle school now.
Wow.
What you say? I gave you what?
You gave me a prayer rock.
Oh, that prayer rock.
Yeah, prayer rock.
But you know
you
what?
still got that?
Yeah, it's in my uniform.
I tell people don't sleep on the military because I think, you know, sometimes you just don't know that things are meant for you. It just is uncomfortable at first and stuff. But that was meant for you because I just remember, I think you were probably in Kuwait or something.
Kuwait.
Is that where you went?
Oh, to my deployment? Yeah.
And, you know, we would talk and stuff and you would talk about, well, I think I'm I think you were talking about a business and when you got out, this and that and all this and that kind of stuff. And I was like, is he talking like he got a plan? And I said, you have a goal? And I remember just like, oh, thank you, Lord. Because your conversations were never like that before. So I saw and heard the maturity and the growth in you. And I think sometimes just having to be away, that helped you find you. And, you couldn't call on mom and dad and say, bam, bam, bam. You had to figure it out. And you were so far away.
Yeah, I knew I couldn't. So it was like, that was far away from but I had one person, a safety net, which was, shout out to Keisha. She was in New York, so she was like a 4-hour drive from a bus ride.
Oh, yeah. And she came in and supported when we really couldn't. So, yes, that was
Keisha is on that list, too, for just being there in a special moment for me, like where I graduating from AIT. I came to my basic training graduation. I couldn't make it to my AIT one, but she was there. And then when I came home from deployment, like, that's a feeling I'll never forget, like getting off the bus and actually seeing a family member. Right. So.
Oh, yeah.
I was always grateful. And she had the sign and
I remember that.
And she was able to get, they had my truck in storage. So you had a rule, like, I think you had like 72 hours you couldn't drive when you got back. But my sergeant was like, you going to be driving them? She was like, yeah. And so I got my truck back. And so I was like, ooh, we was in that hotel or whatever. But yeah. No, that
Man, if I would have known that truck would have lasted a lot longer than that, I sure wouldn't have sold it to you.
All I did was kept the maintenance up on it.
I know, right?
I was all up and through New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore. I went to
Chevrolet
DC.
Tahoe's last.
Went to DC. And that was right after you had got that transmission. Once the transmission go out and you get a new one,
Man, but I remember hearing the noise. I was like, oh, I don't want this no more. I can't do this.
Yeah,
but, I'm scary Mary. I ain't going to get stuck on the freeway or nothing.
No.
But, yeah.
That was my first long drive.
Yeah?
Driving from Texas to Virginia.
Yeah, your dad.
You mean our first long drive?
Yeah, your dad rode
I rode long road trips with y'all from like Alabama to Texas.
But he's talking about
my first time driving.
By yourself?
Yeah, like me have to drive. Because you was like, got in the passenger seat.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, dog, you got it.
From Dallas to Atlanta was the longest I ever drove.
12 hours.
And then the time zone changed. But then that's when gas, it was probably around.
Because you got a ticket too, remember?
Yeah, and Arcadia, Louisiana.
Yeah, right before we got to Grambling.
Yeah, it's like
after Grambling.
We was coming down this hill, and he was waiting right down the hill. I was going 83.
Yeah, right after we left Grambling. You got Grambling, and you got Arcadia and all that.
I was like, and I tried to pull out the military card. White boy didn't care about that.
He didn't care.
Yeah. Talking about what is that piece of paper up?
Yeah, nigga, you just got in.
You right behind the ear.
Got that, and then we made to Atlanta and stayed with
Eric Jackson, my brother.
Because he was in, then he started showing me his military stuff. He was excited for me and everything. Then we left that morning and we made it to Virginia. I remember
Fort Lee.
Yeah, we drove into Virginia. Like as soon as we hit the state line, the roads was instantly raggedy.
Raggedy is a bit.
Like you were boop, 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 like he was like boop, 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 like dang. And that's when I learned about the sky policing. Like they can give you a ticket from the, you know how you talking about?
Like the plane, like well, it's the same way in Florida. Like how they got it is, like on the highways, they got the line markers, white lines.
Yeah.
And what the planes do is they be flying up there, and they be like, once you pass this line and you get to the next one,
and a certain
and they can determine how fast you was going.
Mm-hmm.
And then so the airplane a radio down to a car that's on the ground and say, look, this car right here is speeding, boom, boom, and that's how you pull you over.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so
that don't sound fair.
That was new to me. Just even learning new government. Virginia was a Commonwealth state.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was glad I was from Texas. I ain't had, because in the military, it go by your state of record. Mm-hmm. So I know some people was paying state taxes still.
Wow.
Check and all that, but I wasn't. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people was trying like, man, I'm going to get they're like, man, can we use your address to get a state ID? I said, no. I said, you better wait till you get stationed there somewhere. I'm like, but I met a lot of good people.
Yeah, it was a blessing. You were blessed to have a lot of make new connections and friends, lifelong friends.
Yeah,
because they knew I was getting out. Everybody knew that I was getting out. I said, I'm just doing it. But it was like I said, a great stepping stool. But once I learned all like the benefits, I'm like, I don't want to call it a game, but
you know how to operate.
Yeah, I was just. Oh man!
Remember when you first got out? First thing I said was, man, make sure that you make a copy of every single copy of your medical records.
Yeah.
And remember, I said, mail them to me. And remember, I still got that same folder to this day.
It's the blue folder in the top of the clock.
The same folder with all your medical records. Up until the point to where, you start taking over. Yeah.
Cause then I turned my stuff in 6 months before I got out. So like as soon as I got out, my disability check started. I had to wait because they sent me a letter saying I was double dipping because I did it so early. I was like on top of it.
Yeah,
so
they couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and they was just like, "No, you still active duty. You got to wait till March." Because I got out January 26th of 2019, and so I still got paid that February. So I had to wait February 15th. So really March 1st, and then that's when all my benefits start kicking in and stuff like that.
I'm just glad you had the mindset to go back to school, go back to Prairie View.
Oh yeah.
And finish
Well,
up.
I mean, yeah. One, it was I want to finish
What you said started?
what I started, and then two, I was getting paid to finish what I was starting.
But see, the thing about, like
And
your mama just said,
it was free.
we didn't know. We didn't know that was your mindset. And then when I was talking to you on the phone, and you said, "Well, Dad, this is what I'm gonna do." Boom, boom, boom. And we was like,
I remember going back and forth with you when I was in. You wanted me to make a career out of it.
out of what?
Military.
Well, I did at the point.
Yeah.
And then once I realized that, hey, you know what? Now I'm getting out.
Yeah.
And then when you said
You
that,
saw me. I'm getting out when you went in first day.
right, and when you said you was going back to the yard, and I was like, okay, cool. Because me and your mama, trust me, me and your mama, man, I'm telling you, man, your mother prayed from the time you went in, and one of our prayers, well, many of our prayers was, Lord, of course, keep a hedge of protection around him, keep him safe, and then put people in place that is going to bless him and guide him and give him favor.
Right.
And then when we started talking to you on the phone, like your mother alluded to earlier, and we just started listening to how you was talking and everything that you was going through, we was like, we look at each other, we be like, oh man, God blessing our prayers. You know, he answering our prayers.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. We was like, oh man, it's working.
When I got out the Army, that was the first thing I completed in my adult life.
Oh,
What?
the Army.
The Army.
Oh yeah.
That was the first thing I ever completed, so it felt like I was capable of doing that. So now I was telling Pops this, what was that, yesterday or the day before, but I kind of approached life on a 4-year plan because that's what worked for me with the Army. So I did 4 years in the Army, then I did 4 years back at school, and now I'm in my 4th year teaching, and I'm thinking of a career change or setting myself up for something else because I don't know. I just feel like I got to do something different. It's just like, okay, it's the next chapter or whatnot. Because I remember, like I said, going back and forth with Daddy on the phone, and he was just like, man, the benefits, blah, blah. And I'll always think, because we will wrap it up after this, but I'll always think generation, like Pops would always say, you should be better than the next generation. So I always looked at Pawpaw. He worked on the docks hard for 40 years? And his right shoulder, his arms and all, they was broken down. I mean, put his kids through school and everything. They had no student loans, so that was a blessing. Then Pops worked for the government for 30 years.
I was working with your papa first.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, but like your job career.
Yeah.
You did that for 30 years. And I was just thinking, like, what is a way I can... I know Pops sometimes used to hate it growing up. He was like, you always trying to find an easier way or something slick or not trying to just... I never wanted to be the one to just work super hard and get nothing out of it at the end. I just feel like it was no... I mean, you work hard for something, you get it, but I always thought it was an easier way to get to the same common goal. And I met people that was like, hey, it's an easier way. Don't work smarter, not harder. I always heard work smarter, not harder. So then when I was learning about, I could do my 4 years and Sergeant Frost was telling me about disability and all that, then I was just like, well, damn, I'll be making I didn't know what Daddy was making then, but we was having that talk. I was like, well, shit, I can get out and be making the same amount of money you making. And you didn't put, 25, well, that's talking about 25, almost 30 years in. So I was just kind of doing the calculation of that. Then when I actually got my disability, and I was like, dang, yeah, you did that. 'Cause I was like pretty much retired in my 20s. Was getting a retirement check in my 20s. So now I was like, okay, now I could pursue careers or stuff that I want to do because I got that base set or whatnot.
But I think that our generation, we were more like, you have to have a steady job, a steady income, and we didn't
Work
flip
hard.
flop in careers and stuff like that. I'm gonna do this. This is what I'm gonna do, and but I also think fear.
It's fair.
Yeah, and I think that you guys' generation are
don't
more
care.
risk takers. But then also, I think that our generation as parents, we set y'all up to be risk takers too, because you're gonna have mom and daddy if needed. We didn't always feel that way because we always knew our parents were struggling with us, and we wouldn't dare go back and even ask them. And stuff like that. So I think that that's the difference.
Well, I think we're bigger risk takers because we have more opportunity than y'all have.
And things are changing.
Because it's like,
I
well,
agree.
hell, I ain't got to work this 9 to 5. I could be making content.
Yeah.
like you doing that.
Yeah,
The
right.
opportunities are, yes,
So like now,
I agree.
you got people
I agree.
on Facebook making
Yeah.
$5,000, $10,000 a month,
And it's
just
like,
sitting in
what
front
the
of
hell
camera.
am I doing
Right.
wrong?
I'm like, wow, and, you seeing that as a young adult, you're like, I'm not about to sit at this cubicle for 15, 20 years.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right when you said, you guys have way more opportunities
Yeah.
than we had at your age, and and now, and not to say that we can't capitalize on any of those now,
Right.
but at the time, when we was growing up, we didn't have these opportunities like you just stated, so.
And I see the
that's the
difference
difference.
between my generation and the kids now. Like I remember Pops was saying, I was telling them, I was like, it was a certain age you had to like just be done with video games. I said, now you can get paid to, like, imagine if I would have stayed, like, I was in that generation where we grew up with video games, but like eventually kind of like slow down. But if we would have stayed with it, like, I feel like I was born a few years a little too early or whatnot, but it is what it is. But even with like in school, I tell the kids like how DISD got all these programs and how they can get an associate's degree when I'm like, we didn't have this when I graduated. And that was only, next year would be 15 years since I graduated. But only thing they offer us was AP classes. We didn't even get dual credit.
And barely had academies or those specialized schools when you were going.
And every high school has an academy and a
Career
cluster.
Institute, South, North,
And they
East,
got a bus that'll take you to I was like,
during the day. You don't even have to find a ride.
That's like a slim school.
Yeah, that's what he is.
That's where
Right.
so like all the southern schools, like Carter, Kimball, they get bused and go to his school for like
Right.
2 hours and they come back.
Right.
But I'm gonna wrap this up. But what saddens me now, our kids not really taking advantage of it. And I feel like if it was my generation, it would be more of black kids in it because y'all, our parents, would have pushed us in that. I'm like, what?
I
Or
can
even
see
just
that.
I just think parents just back then just totally, because I remember, like you said, how your introduction to Village Oaks when you got to homes and stuff. I remember coming to Jan Irvin. This is 99, 2000. And we in the middle of Highland Hills. And that was just a different culture shock for me coming from Alabama to that, seeing just ghetto fabulous, I would say. They were ghetto, but then the snacks, they was there. The snacks was good. Like the parents was coming on, like we had multiple parents coming on field trips. Remember going on a field trip?
Yeah, I remember. I went on all of them.
Like we was going on field trips and all
most
that
of
stuff. And yeah, you knew most of the kids lived in the Pinks, but they didn't look like it. Everybody was well kept. And it was just a different pride and stuff. Like you couldn't tell the difference between most kids or whatnot. But it's what it is. It's we just got to bring that back. I think it slowly but surely is. But I thank y'all for coming again. Well, we definitely gonna bring y'all.
Because we gotta finish up. I don't even think we got to.
No, we didn't. We had a good conversation. It's almost 2 hours.
We say Slim
You
part
didn't
2,
scare
part
me.
3.
I didn't scare you.
Because I thought I was gonna have to come on here and apologize.
Go ahead. Say what you got to say.
No, because
Apologize.
Calvin, the last time, I think some of the other sessions that you have with the young ladies and stuff, I was like, I bet they wonder what his mama's like. And I was gonna call up here one time, but time got away, and I was like, y'all, I'm his mama, and I'm really not a bad person. I really do speak up, and I really do have a voice.
You try to defend
and all that
yourself.
kind of stuff, because they probably like, who is his mama? He deflects like this, and he talks like that, and he has and says this and that. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I think some people, I don't want to say some, but you have some people on the internet, but they probably think I just hate women.
Man.
But I don't.
Because I'll be like, what the hell you say that fuck.
No, I mean, but look at the standards I grew up around.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hold y'all up to some high
Yeah.
standards.
You're a different thinker,
Yeah,
and that's cool.
I mean,
Say
that's-
what it is.
I was just raised. I mean, y'all didn't sugarcoat nothing really with
Yeah,
us.
your
That's
dad
my
didn't.
boy. I sure the hell didn't.
Yeah, he's still down, but anyway.
No, I mean, I think, I just think that's I don't know. All medicine don't taste good. That's how I look at it.
I agree.
But it's gonna help you.
I
You're right
like
about
that,
it.
Calvin.
Medicine is
You're
just,
right about
that's
it.
how I just approach life. Like, I read somebody straight up tell me, "Hey, this is what it is." Okay, I got one more question. I'm sorry.
And then it's gonna be all right when the swelling go down.
Yeah,
It's gonna be all right when
they
the
done heard
swelling
that all
go
on the
down.
episode.
It's gonna be all right when the swelling go down.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was another one because it was just about being parents and different thinking. How did y'all feel? Because I remember this moment. It was 2024. This was the first time we was like me, Courtney, all of us was in the house. We was cleaning up. Me and Courtney was cleaning the kitchen. Y'all was in the living room, and we was talking about politics. How did y'all feel when you heard I was voting for Donald Trump? I know you was pretty upset.
Oh yeah, I was pissed.
I was disappointed.
Uh-huh.
I was disappointed, and but what I tried to do was I tried to be open to hear what your views were and why you was calling yourself at that particular time voting for Trump. But I would just still steadfast on my beliefs, political beliefs, and be like, how can you vote for that fool? You know what I'm saying? That's my mindset. How can you vote for that fool? Knowing that, in my opinion, he's a racist, boom, 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 this and that. And even though he may have some programs that may have helped some black folks out and this and that, but just his character as a person and this and that.
Ain't jack crap have no black.
You know what I'm saying? So,
But I think.
No, for as like investments and stuff like that, some black folks made some money.
Yeah.
No, those that was already making money.
Well,
I just I don't
get me
like
wrong.
him.
No,
I just think
I'm
that
not for Trump whatsoever.
Yeah.
Let me make that
I'm sorry.
clear.
Yeah, he just. Is,
But okay,
is like
when y'all heard my
illiterate.
reasonings, it just didn't make sense.
You know what, Calvin? I didn't even hear your.
I know you
reasonings.
didn't. I know.
It
It
was
didn't
like
change my
wonk,
process
wonk,
of
wonk,
thinking about it at all. I was just looking like,
But I was like, you grown,
No,
you
I
make your
tell
own
you.
decisions, and if that's the choice that you wanted, that's hey,
Yeah.
that's what you
So
do.
it was funny how it broke because you was just like, yeah, we gotta get our girl in there. I said, who girl?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I was like,
I'm telling you, I was trying
but
to
you
keep
know
my
what?
composure.
I said, here you go again. He want to debate. I said, but I was like, I'm not finna do it with Calvin.
No, I mean, I just got to a point where, of course, I'm a history major, so I was just looking at it historically. We've been voting the same way and just haven't progressed since y'all was born.
So
That
look
was
how
the-
we've done. Look what we've done so
It's
far
the lesser of the two evils, no matter how you vote.
Well, and I think we need to get out of that mind frame too. But with that, I would say it might look chaotic on the outside what's going on now, but from what I've been researching and looking at, whenever we have a Democrat in office, black people are asleep. We just comfortable. We just like, okay, we got our person in there. We ain't doing nothing black like for its economics or anything. But when it's a Republican in there, that's when we start figuring it out, and we know it's black versus everybody. And I think this election has shown us, even with it was a good high moment for me personally, like to see like, man,
The first time you voted for him?
no, I only voted for him once. I didn't vote the 2026 because I was in the Army. I was like, I'm gonna have to take whoever orders. It didn't matter to me. And then it was some like loop, all this stuff we had to do because I wasn't in the state. I was in Virginia and all that stuff. I was like, I'm not voting. But when what I was saying.
There's something about
You
Luke.
was confused because you voted for that fool.
No,
That's why. That's what it was.
the first, it was just I just
Trying to
feel
make
like
sense of that
no.
vote.
I was
That
just trying to say
bullshit.
we were just together. Oh, here it is. So the results from the 2024 election showed that blacks voted predominantly Democrat, and the other minority groups voted leaning more towards red. And so I knew they was going to be voting against their own interests, and I was getting tired of black people trying to save everybody except for ourselves.
Gotcha.
So that's why I was so against even immigration. And then I'm in the system where I'm seeing it affect our kids. I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking of my future kids, y'all grandkids. we're gonna have to compete against them in our own. That's like somebody coming in our house, some step kids, and y'all treating them better than me and Courtney. We're gonna be like, oh, nigga, we the real
And you know
forward.
what? And that's the one thing, and I know we gotta go, but like that's the one thing that has bothered me. So even in education and stuff like that, because as an African American student, you may have. But what are the resources? It's like you gotta be ESL, bilingual, and then you get all these resources. But I'm like, but I'm over here trying to make something out of nothing for somebody that is here. You know what I mean?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
And they count against your scores.
Yeah.
And you're getting more money to help them. But
that's what got me when I'm over here in the hood, in it. And I don't get paid, but here it is. You can get a stipend for speaking your language.
Your
to
native
teach
language.
the kids.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, what do I need to do? And
then they won't come to the hood to teach their own kids because they don't want to be in the hood. But that's another,
baby.
We can talk about that on another episode.
She gets swole.
Smoke coming out my head.
She gets swole.
Once me and Mama started having that conversation about that, she kind of like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of I get it moments during this election. It's been rough, but I think even seeing with like I said with the ICE, and then now we're seeing with the Asian. It's not really an Asian boycott. I think it's just a wealth transfer of the black wealth going back into our community.
Oh yeah, which
we really need to do. And that video that I'm gonna show y'all in the truck, but the video of this Asian dude really daring black people like y'all need us, like y'all need us to live, like boycott us and see what happened. So it's like
I think I saw that.
Yeah, so it's just like, oh, you don't think we can? Like we made y'all. We the reason why y'all kids in school, and they use Asians to strike down affirmative action DEI, and it backfired on them. So I'm just saying, like, all this political stuff is showing that we're all we got as black people. There's nobody on our team. We even seen like even diaspora wars or like the Africans, Caribbeans attacking us. It's just been showing that everybody's true colors, and I think this administration is showing that we all we got. And I think it's a great wake up call because I think we do fall asleep and think racism is still not alive and well.
I don't think that.
No. I'm saying we think we sleep far as like, even like we don't think racism can come from the Democratic side. I think racism is a little bit nicer and we fall asleep on that. Both we need to get away from. I think we need to, like I said, focus on local, create our own party, focus on local, and then let them have the national stuff. But thank y'all for coming again. We'll have this episode will be uploaded in a few days. But thank y'all for coming in.
Thank you for having us, son. Thank you for the invite.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Y'all have a good one. And that's it, Spider. Thank you. I'm sorry we went over a little bit.